Welcome to the Modern Romantic, where we celebrate romanticism by featuring incredible people doing awesome things, or whatever combination of words that Trey uses when he does the intro. Trey's not here with us tonight, but my name is Emily, so I'll be your host today, and I am here with Jayne Ann Krentz. And I'm so excited to welcome her back to the show because it's been 2 whole years since you've been here, and I'm so grateful that you came back. Welcome to the show, Jayne.
Oh, thank you. I had a great time last time, so I'm delighted to be back. Good to see
Yeah,
you again.
thank you. Good to see you. I'm so excited. Um, it's too bad Trey couldn't make it. Trey got a part, if you heard last week, Trey got a part in a play. He's in The Hunchback of Notre Dame in Charlotte, North Carolina. And so he is there and he is rehearsing tonight. So he can't make it, which is too bad. But we wish him well. He's going to do great in the play. I think we're supposed to say break a leg so that no bad things happen.
Go Trey.
Go Trey. That's right. So you have had quite a lot happen in the last 2 years.
Uh, the world has had a lot happen
That's
in
true.
the past week. Uh, Authors are just living in it. Like you, we're all just living in it. Yeah, it's just been a really busy. I think what's happening in the market now, in the publishing world, is just so much change so quickly,
Oh,
and just coming at us, like Zoom at a million miles an hour. And since I've talked to you last, we've seen things like self-publishing has become the norm, rather
yeah.
than more of an experimental process. AI is threatening everything. Every author I know is terrified of AI.
Yeah.
Every creative person I know is terrified of it, and the only solution is to ignore it because it's not going away.
It's not like
Um,
there's legislation out there. They're working on it, and I'm happy for that. But yeah, there aren't
yeah,
many solutions right now.
yeah. It's we like to think that the design and creativity are still human generated concepts, and that it takes the human mind to do that. Um, we'll see. I guess we're going to find out the hard way. Um, for now, at any rate, though, I still think there's a lot to be said for human creativity. I do think it's going to be real hard for the robots to duplicate that.
I would agree. I feel like it's become pretty easy to spot AI generated text for many of us. It's become really easy to spot AI generated imagery and videos and things like that. There are some people that don't see it, but many of us do. And um, Victoria Kelleher is an actress who we had on the show recently that said AI will never be able to perform on stage the way a human can. And that
Yeah.
was hopeful. I liked hearing that.
I think that's right because there's a certain energy. There's a physical energy that comes from a live performance of any kind, music or, just actually just watching a competent person do something generates a kind of energy that you can't get watching the same thing on a video. It's that it may lead us toward back to a time when more entertainment does come to us in the live format, simply because it can't be produced in any other way that gives us the same live energy you get when you go to a theater, when you go to the
Mhm.
theater or the music hall or symphony. Um, and I think it's going to be a while before anybody can replace the energy you get from a book that really speaks to you. It's it's possible to write words but lack of energy, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
yeah, and that may be what the robots end up doing. We'll see.
Yeah, when this stuff came about and I started to see what it was going to do, I thought my first thought was every artist out there, whether you paint or whether you write or whether you sing, you should double your prices right now. You should just double them or triple them because this is going to be the premium form of art consumption because AI is going to generate a bunch of slop for a very long time that we're
Yeah.
going to start recognizing it as the the cheap stuff a computer can do versus what a premium experience a human can do. And that thought made me think maybe this is when artists can actually make the money that they're worth. And maybe this is when human interaction and human created works become valuable, more valuable than they ever have.
Well, that's interesting. I like that. That's an insight that I hadn't had, but now I can see it over here in the book world. The
Yeah.
the decorated book is becoming a thing. You know, fancy covers, added on designs, pages that are squiggled. I don't know what the word is, but all the little lines
On
on
the
a page.
edge? Yeah.
Yeah, edges. Yeah, thank you for the right word. But people are willing to pay more, not just for the book, but for a decorated version of the same book they may have read on their Kindle.
It's the experience. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So there's something else going on there, that the value of the story is not just the words. There's something else going on that people want to capture and hold on to. Very
Mhm.
interesting. Yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah, like there's I'm seeing things like when you buy this from excuse me, I guess I shouldn't speak to the let me finish one sentence. I've seen things like when you buy my book, you're also going to get an experience with it. Like if you pay the premium price, you'll get, for instance, this tea set to go with it that is in the genre of the book, or this I don't know, I always there was always a piece of music I would put on when I would read a certain type of book. And I always thought that if an author ever paired the music they picked in, I know that there's a whole business side of that I'm probably really messing with by saying this out loud. But if you like, let's say this particular symphony is what spoke to you when you were writing it, and you have that in your head, or it references it in the book, like how neat would it be to include that somehow with the book?
yeah, part of the experience. That's probably more doable in the electronic books. There
Oh,
might be
sure.
ways of tying it to that. As you say, there's all kinds of copyright issues that I don't know how
Yeah.
that would be resolved. Um, but
Yes.
I will say that it's common now for writers who write with music, and a lot of them do, to put their playlists in the back. They'll list the playlists that
Yes.
they'll
Yes,
use.
that. I
And
love
so
that.
that's becoming more and more of a convention now. After the acknowledgments page in the back, there'll be and the playlist for this book.
I love that. I think that's brilliant. I really do. Is that something that, like, do you listen to music when you write? Because I feel like we talked about that
I
and you didn't.
can't. I can't. I've
Yeah,
tried. I've tried. It just distracts me. I get into the music, and one part of the brain that's supposed to be working on the book is listening to the music, and I can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
I get
Um,
that.
but a lot of writers do, and they use the mood that the music sets to get them into it. And I get the theory. Theoretically, it should work.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
just
no,
find it.
absolutely. When I edit photography, I know a girl who edits photography to, like, heavy metal, and I cannot even think with that going on. And so I'll sit down in front of Photoshop and I'll try to play even a song with lyrics, and I can't do it. It has to be instrumental only, and it has to be really, really low. So I get the whole your brain can't do both thing because mine struggles with that too.
Yeah, I guess I think it's whether or not you can tune out the music, but then why would you want to do that? I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of pointless. So I'm not real sure. I think brains just work differently. Everybody's head
Mhm.
works differently. So, but for me, I'm all in on the story, and that actually makes me think. I think I've often tried to explain that I'm a dialogue-driven writer as opposed to a
Mhm.
narrative-driven writer. And
Yeah.
maybe that's what's going on, because I'm hearing the story when the characters start talking. So music really is an interference at that point. But if I were a more visually driven writer, that might work. because
That makes
because
sense.
we are used to seeing film with music behind, going on that sets the mood for the film. We know how to
Mhm.
think that way with film, so it might
That
work
makes
that.
sense.
But
Yeah.
but I think for me, it's all dialogue driven. So yeah, I bet we're on to something here. We need to we need
Like
to
it's
make a
too
list.
noisy, right?
Yeah, yeah, I can't hear you talking because I'm listening with the
Right.
music in the background. When you're doing your dress design work and your costume design work, um, are you visual? Can you see it in your head before it's done? Do
Oh,
you
for
do
sure.
you
Yeah,
can see that?
absolutely.
See, that's a gift. That really
That's where
is.
it starts for me. I have to work backwards.
Uh-huh.
So I'll have it in my head how I want it to look. That's not to say there aren't design changes, you know. I think every artist probably has that to some degree. Where like, oh, this didn't work how I was picturing it. So or I don't have enough fabric or not enough fabric of that kind exists or whatever. Um yeah, but I do have this image. I want this massive flowing dress that's gonna catch the air when the wind blows, or we could
Yeah.
throw it in the air and it's gonna catch the air, and I could picture how I want that to look, and that is how I then start figuring out what I need.
The technical
Yeah.
part of getting there, how you
Mhm.
make it. Yeah. That's an interesting art form. It really is. As you say, it's reverse engineering. Getting, and then I'm fascinated with costume and dress design. I don't do it, and I can't even sew very well. But but I'm fascinated with the idea that humans focus so much attention on it. Um, we all wear clothes. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
where did
Thankfully.
that start? Where did that, yeah. And maybe that's why it started, just because it's better than the alternative visually. Um, but no, I think it's very interesting because when you see the over the top stuff at the Met Gala,
Mhm, yes.
where the engineering is everything, I mean, it's and they're no longer really wearable. You're just part of an art
Yeah,
exhibit
they're
that you
not sitting down in it, right.
uh-huh. Yeah, I don't think you could. Most of them, I don't think you could. It's amazing they can even move. But that's like taking costume design to the extremes, and you'd never see it on the street, and you never will. But that's where the artist's eye took it when the artist was unencumbered with the need to make it actually wearable.
Uh-huh. I like
Because
that word, and unencumbered. Mhm.
it's the ult clothes, when you think about it, the art ultimate form follows function. You have to be able to move. So
You
I don't
know,
know, I just
for
find it interesting.
it is interesting. For a while, I made recycled designs. We called them that. They were like, if you've ever watched Project Runway, it's like the unconventional design challenge where you're gonna make a dress out of like plastic or out of, in my case, many times it was paper. Um, and so making a dress out of paper is so hard because it rips easy. I watched so many very unfortunate incidents happen behind the scenes where a
Mm.
model was getting ready and the dress tore in an
Oh.
unfortunate place, and it'll affect whether or not that show happens for that model or that designer for that matter. And I learned ways to make sure that those things didn't happen. Uh because I don't want any model to suffer. They already have models have it rough in my opinion. Like they already have like these body standards
Oh
and
gosh, yeah,
things I
yeah.
will never even try to live up to. And they have a lot of pressure and a lot of competition and a lot of people yelling at them various things. A lot of messages that I think are very unhealthy. So my goal was always to make the model as happy and as comfortable as possible because I want to be the antithesis of this horrible model world. And that's what I started to do. I started to create the base of these paper dresses out of things that weren't paper so that they could hold together. So whether it was a recycled fabric or a recycled something else, it was always something that could zip up and many times had pockets, things
Aha.
like that, because I wanted to be able to do something that no one else was. But that's something that was the unencumbered part was what happens when I have to make a dress out of opera programs, and because that was several of them actually, and I have to make it wearable down not just one runway, but several, and it has to be able to travel to New York, and it has to show on New York Fashion Week runway. How do I get that to
Wow.
happen without it being
Wow.
destroyed? And, the answer is renting a big truck and hauling them. But they're we figure out a way to, but I look at Met Gala and I go, "Wow, I would love if anybody is out there that's gonna go to the Met Gala and needs someone to make them something,
You're up for
please
it.
talk to me." Yes. Oh, I would relish that so much. Like, I
But what
believe
would
in
you
wow
do? What would
factor.
you do? What would be your visual for standing out on a runway like that?
It would depend on the person, but I would love to dress a man because I feel like men get the short end of the design stick.
They don't get all the fluffy fabrics. That's true.
Yes. And as much as I would die to make some really great ball gown for that, something that would just be over the top amazing, I would make it where it actually was plants growing or something, like I
Oh
want
yeah.
like I want it to be something where it's like this dress is made of moss, something like that. But I feel like I want the challenge of dressing a man for that, where this guy's gonna just outdo every guy there, because they wear tux and it might have something slightly different, but
Yeah. It's the look. They're in a uniform more
yeah.
than we are for sure.
But I
Um,
think
it
that's like back to what you said, more of the body is a canvas for us somehow.
yeah. And and we talk about how we throw away good clothes, but or give them away or get rid of them and buy new ones. But we do that because we're bored with them. It's like
Mhm.
it's not because we don't have a sense of of waste not, want not, it's just that that's our own personal art. We're going to wear that
Mhm.
art, and we want something new. People want change. People want something fresh and a new look. And yeah, it's just a really interesting art form, clothes.
It is. I would agree. Yeah, and it's very wasteful, because of that. We dress ourselves more often and change those things more than we change our own walls.
Well, I've run into it as, trying to describe what the characters are wearing without going into lots of detail,
Right.
and and I do end up, if it's a ballroom scene or a party scene, I am going to probably put the hero into a power suit,
Yeah.
into a tux because it's the ultimate masculine
Mhm.
suit, um, and it reads well, it makes every guy look good,
It does.
um,
That's
and,
true.
and that's what everybody wants when they step out the door. Um, And I almost here's what I almost invariably come back to again and again when I'm dressing my heroines is the little black dress.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's the ultimate sexy dress. It always will be. And it's something, the a little black slip of a dress is just it's really a
Well,
negligee.
and if we're putting ourselves in that character from a perspective like a relatability, we all feel pretty good in a black dress.
Yeah, confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not an uncomfortable moment for me to envision myself as that character
Yeah. Yeah,
because
as
yeah.
opposed to something loud and pink or something like that that would yeah.
Right. For someone, that's great, but not for me.
And that's what most women would tell you, not for me.
Yeah.
I like pink, but I'm not going to go out in the street wearing a lot of pink. So,
The bright. Yeah. There's those women who can do it. Kudos to you because I can design it, but I'm not gonna wear it.
Oh, that's funny. Well,
But we
anyhow,
do all like oh, go ahead, I'm
that's one of
sorry.
the things that's just one of the, you're over here designing in your head, and I'm over here wanting to put my characters into interesting clothes, and I don't know how to do it. I don't know. What would, that's an idea for you. You could
That's
be a clothing
fascinating.
designer for writers.
Oh, how would what would that look like? That's fascinating, and I wanna do it now.
Yeah. Um, it would all be verbal. It would all be sketches and verbal because
Yeah.
we're never going to make the clothes. but I
Right, we
I
don't have
lack
to, right.
but I lack the toolkit for describing clothes because I'm not in that world.
Okay.
I can flip through Vogue magazine, but I that's as far as I can go. Um, and so this describing the clothes is really minimal for me because he had a tux. He wore a tux. Um, um, but yeah, I could really use someone who could help me describe an interesting set of, interesting clothes for the characters that fit the characters. That would be, there you go. There's a whole new uh,
I will sign me up for that.
a
That sounds
consulting
so
path.
cool. I would totally do that. If you ever wanna just play around with that sometime to see if that's,
I'll contact you.
something you'd
Okay.
like, I would love that. That was oh my goodness, I never even thought of that. What a great idea.
Well, it comes to me naturally because I'm looking for ideas for clothes
Right.
all the time. It's a weak spot in my writing.
It is,
And
and
I
it's
think a
something that
lot of writers,
surprises me.
I think a lot of writers overlook it. They'll just say they'll use a word like a glamorous dress or something like that,
Yeah,
rather than trying to actually describe the dress, which is interesting because if they had the character looking at a piece of art on the wall, they would probably do a better job describing the art on the wall to give an idea of how the character was reacting to that art, because that's what they're looking for is the art is doesn't belong in the story. It's the character's reaction to the art. Like somebody who looks at a piece of abstract art and just doesn't get it.
right,
That
right.
would tell you something about that character. But I bet most often I would do a better job describing the art than I would what the character's wearing, even though I'm trying to get to the same point, which is something about the character. So
Fascinating. Okay. No, that makes sense. One, I'll tell you this, and for any other writers out there, anybody who
yes,
just wants
yes.
to go he wants to go see a good example of this is there's a movie, is it Don Juan DeMarco that has Johnny Depp in it? I'm gonna look this up quick because, he plays it's a 1994 movie. It's, is it? Somebody please tell me if that's him in it. Yes, it is. I'm thinking of the right movie. Okay. Marlon Brando, Johnny Depp, and Faye Dunaway are in this movie. And there's a portion in the movie, I can't tell you when it is. I wanna say it's in the I don't think it's toward the end, but he describes, a woman wearing a dress in a way that makes you wanna be that woman wearing that dress. Like,
Oh,
the way he
that's a
describes the silk on her skin is, like, amazing. And so
yeah.
something like that, like the way the fabric behaves and things like that might be, so like terminology, like, "Oh, it was bias cut," which changes the whole way that fabric lays on a person.
And you can only use certain fabrics for bias cut to get the yeah. I see where you're going with that. That's I need more of that.
Okay. So for everybody out there, Don Juan DeMarco is your homework,
Okay.
and
Look for
just
the bias.
listen for that
Look for the
part.
dress.
There's no he's just sitting there telling somebody about it. Like, there's no visual. It's wonderful
Uh,
because of that. And it's just that
oh,
moment where he describes the fabric of the dress and how it, like, rippled across her skin was, like, the most
very,
amazing. I don't know why that stuck with me. Probably because 'cause
well,
I'm into fabric.
well, you're into fabric, but it was also a very descriptive passage, and we do remember it brought up an image. It brought up an
Mhm,
image. Yeah.
mhm.
And the image I usually bring up is little black dress
Right.
and the tux. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to work on that. There's always room to grow in my business. There's always room to improve your craft.
Sure. That sounds like fun, though. Maybe it's fun for me because I love clothes and that sounds enticing to me, but I don't know, hopefully you see something like that as something fun to
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah, something fun to learn because I'm always looking for ways to give an insight into my characters without being in your face about it.
Yeah.
Like red hair, blue eyes, that kind of thing is fine, but that's really not what you want to convey. You want more of the personality of the character and yeah. So, and clothes are a way to do that. So,
It is, yeah. It is. That's one thing that when I was designing more, and if I would be backstage at a fashion show or be in public somewhere, I typically just like I myself don't wear a lot of what I would make. I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of person. So, like I'm wearing a hoodie right now. And it's a lot of it was just utility. I was thinking so much about these other clothes and how to make them do what they need to do and be what they need to be and all of that, that thinking about my own wardrobe is almost too much sometimes. So I would just wear a black something. Usually it was like a top with leggings, like super simple. But I remember being behind the scenes at some of these shows, and if I came out to where anybody could see me or talk to me, people would come up to me and be like, "And are you wearing something you made?" And I would be like, "No, I didn't have time to like make myself leggings for this, or whatever." And they're just like, "Oh, what you chose to wear tonight was is just brilliant." And I'd be like, "This is literally like a Target t-shirt." And and that's probably the secret is people just think you're brilliant because what you put out on the stage, you must also be wearing. And
minimalist.
therefore
It's the
yeah, right.
minimalist look.
And you can get away with anything if you wear black and look like you know what you're doing.
Well, that's it. That's I run into it perhaps more even in the Futuristics, which is the book
Okay,
that
yeah,
is out now. Um, because I don't want them to be wearing costumes like Star Trek. That's
right,
not, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for relatable outfits. Um, but I'd like to give them a twist that makes it kind of futuristic or something you wouldn't have expected back on Earth because they're on another planet, they're living a different life,
right.
and I it's fine to go with the old traditions, but but I'm always looking for ways to give the costume or the outfit a little bit of a something. I've off it's just part of trying to set the scene for, yes, this looks a lot like 21st century America, but with a twist.
I see.
And
Yeah, so we're not
that's
Barbarella.
no, no. I'm not looking, yeah.
No.
There wasn't much costuming in
No,
Barbarella's,
there
I
wasn't. No.
oh, that takes me back a while.
Right. I don't know why that came to mind. I was trying to think of, like, 70s space stuff that,
Yeah,
like, we all kinda or 60s space stuff that we all kinda, like, moved past. Like,
yeah.
we're not, um,
I guess there was
the
I guess the kind of the broad-shouldered look is kind of a,
like, a
um,
pointier yeah.
yeah, that resonates as a futuristic look for some reason. We must have seen it in movies enough that
Right.
probably Star Trek. Yeah.
This shiny silver anything seems it's like a I don't know,
Yeah,
I feel like shiny silver stuff.
the metallic look. You're right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it does send the message of synthetic, and
Yeah.
that would be what you'd expect in a futuristic outfit, not animal hides and
Right. That goes the
well,
opposite direction.
yeah, that's true. So, but it wouldn't be very wearable. And that's
No.
unless you had
That's
fabrics. God, we could go on forever like this. We could just figure this out.
right.
We could write a book.
Now we're designing futuristic fabrics. I'm here for that.
I once one of the best books I ever came across when I was doing historicals um, was a book. I think it was called like 5,000 Years of Hairstyles,
Oh, wow.
and it was just I couldn't put it down. I mean, it
Yeah.
was just fascinating, um, and I just think we're all fascinated with human adornment. What we wear, and we judge people often by their clothes. I mean, it's a huge factor in our life. Seattle's famous because it's got a very gear look,
Mhm.
which is another reason I wouldn't wear pink out on the street here. You need the black and the hoodie and
Mhm. That,
the
like,
backpack. Yeah, yeah,
grungy, yep,
yeah.
alternative, right?
There's there's a look.
There's a look, yes.
Oh, I'm from Seattle. Yeah.
Seattle's only one place I've been, just in the airport, and I've always
Oh,
wanted to stop and visit more.
good. Yeah, you should come. We do good. We do good food here. We've become a bit of a foodie town.
Yes. Yes, I can get on board with that.
We're
I'll
not
work
New
on des
York, but we're foodie.
Right, yeah. I think well, the last time I went through there was a layover, and that's when there were the fires a few years ago, and so the sky
Oh,
was orange and very difficult to see,
yeah.
and I thought,
That,
"Well, I'll stay in the hotel."
yeah, that was smart. The air was very bad during that period. And none of us wanted to be outdoors breathing it. So,
Yeah, it was yeah. I'm glad those times are over for now, at least. Hopefully forever.
have you seen much change in the well, you've been doing the podcast since we last spoke. Have you seen much change in people being more aware of the romantic viewpoint of what's going on?
I think a lot of people didn't have that term in their minds, but they saw it and wanted to experience it in whatever way they wanted to, like, the whatever way suited them, and they just didn't have that word in
Yeah.
their vocabulary. It became, um, cottagecore, or it became,
Ah, yeah.
dark academia, or it became a different word. It just the terminology was the only thing I noticed like, eventually, maybe they discovered, "Oh, that's what this is," you
Interesting.
know?
Yeah. I
Mhm.
I see where you're going. I agree with you.
So, for
Things like
sure and oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
well, the dark academia is an excellent example of it. In the
Yeah, we
whole
started to
gothic
see more of that. Mhm.
and just the whole gothic image that comes with that, it's just very it's a romanticized view of it. A dark romantic view, yeah.
Mhm.
Very. Yeah, I think maybe people didn't have the right words because we'd sort of forgotten what romanticism was. The definition had fallen out of use, or the word had fallen out of use because the definition kind of didn't hadn't come into the modern era. But
So much so that I found us educating people more than I'd hoped on the
more
difference
than you'd hoped.
between yeah, like romanticism, and they're like, "Oh, that's like romance novels." And I said, "Well, that's part of it. It can be, but there's more to it. You can romanticize war, you can romanticize,
Oh yeah.
space. There's and people have for forever, since forever.
Did they have a
Like,
sense of romantic poetry from the 19th century, the classic romantic poetry of the Keats and the Shelleys and the
I mean, I'm starting to maybe see a little bit of that come back. There's maybe some people who are always into that have made themselves known to us, which has been surprising and very happy. Um, and I think that it's something that we're getting back to. I'm seeing this trend. We're getting back to it, and I think we need it as
yeah.
as a people.
Yeah, I think so too. I It's like in writing we don't focus on it. It's just infused into it, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of the heroic values and virtues, um, things like honor matter, in fiction. Um, and things like determination, just do it or drop. You know what I mean? That kind of
Mhm.
going forward. I thought about that when I saw the new Hail Mary movie
Oh, yeah.
project. Hail Mary project. Andy Weir,
Mhm.
yeah. Um, Ryan Gosling, of course, he's
Yes,
adorable
of
anyway,
course.
but
Gotta love
um,
him. Yep.
but it's that no matter how flawed the character is, when the chips are down, they do the right thing. They come through. It's such a quintessential American hero kind of character. And it just warms your heart. It just makes you feel good. And I thought that's what we're all going for with fiction. We're all looking for an affirmation of those core values and those core virtues that that's romanticizing it. I know that, but there's a reason we do it. And it's because I think they have a lot of survival value for the species.
Mhm.
Um, the guy who will lay down his life for the community that's ultimately what saves the world, and that virtue and that value is hard. And the woman who can, you know, hold a family together against all odds is, those are huge benefits to the survival of the species. And I think that's why we like to see those things affirmed in
Mhm.
our fiction.
Yes, when things look dark, we look to heroes, and we look to hope, and I think stories like that give us that
Yeah.
at those times, and even when there are not dark times, I feel like it's kind of just a human nature to want we all want our world to be better somehow. We have this
Yeah.
idealistic look of what our world should be.
Yeah. Yeah, and we strive toward it.
Mhm.
One way or another, we want to keep moving forward toward it. Yeah. And I think that's just a survival thing. I think that's fundamentally what drives it. It's a Darwinian thing. If you don't have that, you probably don't care to live. You don't have any goals. You don't have any reason to keep going forward. So
Mhm. See, I think we just proved that art is essential to survival.
yeah, for sure.
What
It
a
is
what a
because
great breakthrough moment.
I'll tell you, if it weren't, we would stop doing it. The
Yeah,
drive, the drive would be gone because
absolutely.
fundamentally we're all about survival, and making the species go forward. And art has always been with us for that, hasn't it? We don't do it in a vacuum at all.
It's something that since last time we spoke, I have done a few speeches here and there for various organizations about particular. For some reason, it has turned into and delightfully so um, a thing about aging, and that is that creativity equals longevity. And it's something that
Ah,
I have kind of thrown myself into because not only do I believe it, because I believe it wholeheartedly, I see it every day. Um, because I also work at a maker space and I see how it affects being creative, affects people in ways even they didn't expect. No one expected. It's it's like a magic nobody really understood until they
yeah.
just go do it. And then they're like, "Wow, this really quieted the voices," or this gave me purpose I didn't know I had." And it's something that I see being like art actually does give people survival and
Mhm.
thrival. That's not a word.
Thrive. Helps them thrive.
Yes.
No, I think
So
you're right. I absolutely agree. I think that finding your purpose, finding your passion
mhm.
is a great gift. I mean, I I'm I wish more people could kind of realize it's worth trying to find it. I mean, I went through a dozen different creative things before I found writing. I tried sewing. I
Oh,
tried art. I tried
you tried
painting.
it though. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried painting, baking, cooking, oh gosh, sports. I mean, it wasn't like I was consciously or unconsciously looking for something. And then I really stumbled into the writing. It wasn't like a career goal or
Right.
career path. Um, and then once I started, I couldn't stop. Yep.
And now
And
you have a couple of books.
don't remind me. Too many books, too many books. So
And
everybody,
you're
but I
Oh,
think
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just think that it's worth spending some time in life searching for your passion and cameras. I tried photography. I mean, really, I was looking for something. I just didn't know what it was until I found it. And I think did you know right away that you wanted to get into design?
Um, when I started, it was a means to an end because I wanted to do I was like 11 or 9 or something. I wanted to do backyard plays, and I'd go
Ah,
to the library and pick out these little script books for kids to do these plays, and I remember Mama was one of them, and I have shorts and t-shirts. I'm a kid in a neighborhood in a backyard, and I don't have any period clothing, and I needed something. And so I took the skills my grandma and my mom taught me to sew and made the worst skirt on earth. And that's how that started. It was a means to an end. And I eventually I wore the skirt in the play, but that's how it started. And it it was too tight to walk because I didn't understand fit, because I'm like 9. And so I saw people, "Oh, well, people can have a slit in a skirt. I've seen that before." So I cut the slit. I'm like, "I'll just cut the slit and then I can walk." But I cut the slit scandalously high. And then also being 9 years old, I knew I shouldn't wear that. And so my mom helped me sew a ruffle on the slit so that it covered up what it needed to cover. And I might still have that skirt somewhere. It's been a long time. I don't know. I'd have to look. But that's the long version of how that started.
That was the design move. Yeah. Add the
Mhm.
ruffle. When in doubt,
Yeah.
add a ruffle.
Yeah, because then you end up at Halloween, or you end up at, like, a Renaissance fair, you end up at a costume party of some kind, maybe the Met Gala, and you go, "Oh, I need something to wear." And then but now I have the skill to make it, so I might as well. Especially
Yeah.
because sometimes what you want to wear, it isn't just out there to buy.
Well, when I was trying sewing, I couldn't find any beautiful fabrics. Where do
Oh,
you go? Where do you go now to get really luxury fabrics or nice fabrics that are, really something special? Where do
well,
people shop?
that's hard because so many of our fabric stores, retail fabric places in our country have folded, and that's a whole nother podcast about Joanne Fabrics.
Mm.
We used to have Hancock Fabrics, we used to have Joanne
I
Fabrics,
remember
they
it.
were national chains, yeah, and they're both gone now.
Yeah.
And there are others out there, most of them are independent, but the independent ones are kind of the best because they're gonna get the fabrics that you haven't seen everywhere.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And I like shopping in places that are not like, I'll shop in the more cultural districts of a city, or even the secondhand fabric places. There's a couple in Chicago that are like warehouses. Vogue Fabrics is one. Um, I can't think of the name of the other one. I think it's on Park Road in Chicago, and it's like a 3-story warehouse full of fabrics you've never seen before.
They're the remnants left over from a run that some designer did.
A designer, or they're like got them overseas somewhere, or that's another place. If you can get something from like Paris or Thailand or some of these other
Yeah.
India, there's some cool fabrics out there. Yeah.
So do you buy the fabric first before you figure out what you're going to do with it?
That's how to become a hoarder. That's how to become a fabric hoarder. Yeah, finding beautiful fabrics is difficult. I feel like depending on where you live, like I'm in the middle of rural Minnesota right now, it's very difficult to find fabric. I shop online mostly. But the habit of buying a fabric because it's beautiful is it's a great one, but it really is a way to have a room full of fabric that you haven't used yet. And that is where
Yeah,
I'm at right now.
I can see that.
Mhm.
I have a friend who knits, same problem.
Yeah, oh
Endless
yeah, the yarn.
buy beautiful yarn, and it's like, yeah,
And then when you wanna make something, is it enough? And then when you
yeah,
buy it, do you know how much to buy? Like, that's the other thing.
yeah.
Do I buy 1 yard because it's beautiful and I just must have this? Or do I buy 8 yards because I want the long flowing cloak that 8 yards demands? Like, what do I do? And now that I need 8 yards, now this is it, we're in the hundreds and hundreds of dollars of fabric.
Yeah,
It can
fabric is
it
not
can
cheap.
be a dark hole. I mean, a glorious one.
But definitely a dark hole.
Yeah, I mean, we all buy books that maybe we haven't read all the way or haven't started yet too, so I
But
feel
by
like
the
it could go
cover.
for anything. That's right.
Yeah.
Or the playlist in the back.
No, that's true. It just it's just an it's just interesting how many things can attract us to something, make
Mhm.
us want it. Yeah. And the classic example would be beautifully prepared food.
Yeah.
How good a pretty plate of food Everybody likes to look at pretty food.
Well, and the interesting thing about that is that that's kind of a fleeting thing because you end up eating it and then it's gone.
Yeah. Well, I read somewhere once that the wedding cake, which is a classic example of an over-decorated object that will be destroyed, right? Um, and that you're supposed to consider it as a sacrifice in the
Oh,
same way, like it's a sacrifice to the happiness of the marriage, the wedding.
okay,
Yeah,
sure.
a good sacrifice, but that's the only way you could justify destroying this cake that probably took 46 hours to build. What wedding cakes are very complicated. Um,
Yeah, we
and I've
we do
always
that with
liked that
few
idea.
other foods. Mhm.
I've just always liked that. Yeah, it's a sacrifice to the future of the bride and groom. So okay,
That's a nice way to look at it. I
yeah.
like that. Yeah. Like there's an Indian art form called Rangoli, and I may not be saying that correctly, but it's Rangoli, and it's where they take pigmented powders and they very artfully place them on mostly the sidewalk or tabletop or a surface, the flat surface, and they do cool like swooshes and manipulate these little piles of pigment, and all of a sudden it's a peacock because
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know, it's
yeah.
beautiful. And then especially during Diwali, their holiday, you'll see a lot of that out on the sidewalks, and then people just walk on it, and they walk on it, and it gets smeared all around and destroyed,
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
that's part of it. That's part of the experience of that holiday, and I know there's more to it than that, and anyone's welcome to go Google that, but, or go look up Rangoli as a tradition and what those things mean, but I always thought of that as such a fleeting art, like, they spend hours making these beautiful, like,
Oh,
beautiful art, hours making this beautiful cake.
yeah,
Sacrificing it to the well-being of the marriage sounds beautiful.
yeah. There is something about we do savage our own art, and I don't know why. I mean, it's got a long history of doing that. And then other times we go out of our ways to salvage it, to protect it.
Right.
Um, I don't know why we why some of it gets saved and some of it as deliberately well, and then that brings up the whole thing with graffiti. At what point does that
Mhm.
become an art form? And
Graffiti's not even new anymore. Yeah.
mm-mm,
Like, it's basically an older art form for us now.
yeah,
Yeah. It's all very emotional.
which is makes it fit right into your podcast.
It does. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's a key to the romantic attitude is that is acknowledging the emotion that it generates. If the and maybe that will be the ultimate flaw with AI. If it can't generate emotion, then it's a cartoon, and that'll
Yeah.
it'll be a fleeting joke kind of thing, but you won't remember it. Yeah, I'm not sure you would remember a story if it didn't have if it can't pull on your emotional foundation, and your deepest emotions. I mean, look how easily we can walk away from a sitcom
Mhm.
and never it because we didn't maybe a joke here or there, but no strong emotions. So so the human ability to reach for emotion may be still what saves us from
Right.
saves our jobs.
Well, then and I think you're right with, because there's an emptiness to AI,
Yeah,
and I think because we humans are so astute at emotion, and we don't always and it's not always within our easy and immediate control. You never know when the particular video that pops up on social media is gonna be the one to make you cry
yeah,
while
yeah.
you're on your lunch break and can't be crying right now. This is a bad time to cry, like, and we do it anyway, but, like, AI producing that seems I don't know, like, I don't believe AI can duplicate it the way humans can, and it will never truly be able to do that.
Yeah, I we're a long way from that. I don't think it's going to be that easy either. Life finds a way.
Life finds a way, yes. And I wanna talk about your new book. The is Welcome to the Nightmare? Is that it?
Enter the Nightmare.
Enter the Nightmare. I'm sorry, I
I
got it
just
wrong.
happen to have a copy right
Oh,
here.
there we are. This is so good.
Invited
Enter
author of
the
the show.
Nightmare.
She's gonna show up with her book. Yeah, I love the cover on this one. It's kind of different for me for one of my
Yeah,
books.
I love it.
Yeah,
And also, Jane Castle is the author of that book. The,
yeah, but what they say, the publisher now puts Jayne Ann Krentz writing as Jane Castle. If there's any aspiring authors out there, I will give my major piece of advice that I have learned over 40 years is, for gosh sakes, do not use pen names. They will come back to haunt you. I absolutely guarantee it. And the reason I say that is because in this day and age with social media, you cannot build multiple brands. I don't care how good you are at social
so
media.
hard.
It's
Yeah.
just so freaking hard. And pick a name, stick with it, and don't worry about doing different things with it. That's not really the problem everybody seems to think it will be. There's other ways to brand a series. If you're writing like children's books on one hand and adult books on the other, there's ways to separate them out and still keep your name on both. I would not use a second name for it. But
Do you
that's
think Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
well, I'm just offering that because I've been there, and and to this day, if I do a signing or an event, I can guarantee that third of the audience will come up and say, "Oh, I didn't know you wrote as Amanda Quick. I didn't know you wrote as Jane Castle." It
Well, that's
says
kinda
it
neat
right
because it
there.
opens up a whole 'nother world for them then. All your world.
Well, not necessarily. That's one of the reasons they don't know about it, is because if they
Oh,
came
I see.
across it, they heard that it was historical, and they don't read historicals. I mean,
Oh.
people often have a very clear idea of the landscape they want to enter, the fictional landscape they want to enter when they pick up a book. And a lot of people do not like historicals. A lot of people do not like contemporaries.
Hmm.
Um, and within the genre, there's a million different subgenres that have specific kinds of settings. The easiest way to see this is look at the mystery genre. Um, for example, we all know what the gaslight Sherlock Holmes look is. We know those kinds of Victorian mysteries. We just Jack the Ripper kinds of settings. We know what that looks like. That's a very specific world we can step into without a lot of description, actually, because we've all grown up with it. We've all
Mhm.
read it or seen it so many times. Um, the classic American noir, Private Eye,
Mhm.
we know what that looks like. We can step right into it without a lot of world building. Um, oh, I always like to say that the police procedural is an easy way to see the different distinctions too, because there's an American style police procedural and there's a British style police procedural. And the difference between the two is that in the American style police procedural, those will be the bad guys. The dirty cop story is a very American story. Uh, the British cop story has a kind of a purity to it, the good guy, they're always the good guy, usually the good guys.
Right.
And you know that going in. So when you pick up an American police procedural, you're kind of prepared for the fact that one of the detectives is on the take or something like that. Yeah. And
Fascinating.
anyhow, people, oh, and the cozies. My gosh, the cozies and the Lady Sleuth story has become huge. And they're all very specific settings. And people often buy a book for that specific setting. And that's not everybody will read the futuristics. Um, and it's not because they don't like me as Jayne Ann Krentz. They just don't read futuristics. And all I can do is
I
try to
see.
convince him to give it a try.
It's the world they want to enter
Yeah,
is
yeah.
specific. Do you think we've become more relaxed as how we see that than we used to? Like, at one point, you felt you had to write as Jane Cass well, that used to be, like, your real name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so at
Yeah.
one point, you had to write as Amanda or as Jane Castle and Jayne Ann Krentz. So you had these 3 distinct brands, if you will, do you think we've become more understanding or more relaxed about it, where you could just be Jayne Ann Krentz if you started out now?
Yeah, I think so. I think you could be Jayne Ann Krentz and do three different worlds. It would it would be a matter of packaging more than anything else, and that's not that hard to do. Um, but like I said, it's just too too vague to have too many names and try to do all
Sure.
your subgenres and everything. So I don't recommend it. But I do think that one of the reasons I'm able to do the Jane Castles more successfully now that I have a bigger audience for these books, futuristic setting, is because I've got a whole generation of readers coming up who were raised on Harry Potter.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
Romantasy is a huge hit right now. Romantasy would have been a real tough sell 20 years ago, but
Right?
but today's audience is open to it because they grew up on Harry Potter.
Yeah,
So,
romantasy 20 years ago was like fan fiction.
yeah,
We
yeah,
you
that's
wouldn't
right.
see, you would not see like an actual book. That's pretty neat.
Mm-mm. Yeah. So the readers have changed, for which I'm very grateful.
Yeah, that's awesome. So give us a quick rundown of your book for anybody who is interested to know what this new book is, and
Okay.
what is Enter the Nightmare?
Enter the Nightmare is actually an escape game that becomes a key plot point in the story. So it's kind of the ultimate escape game because if you win, you get to leave. It's one of those hotels that if you check into, you don't always check out of, uh, and that's the gimmick, I guess you would say, that draws you through the story. But in reality, our heroine is on the hiding because somebody's out to kill her and stick her back, not to kill her. They want to kidnap her and stick her back in the insane asylum.
Oh,
She was locked up because about a year ago she woke up in the hotel and was told that she had just murdered her husband on their wedding night, and now she was being taken away. So she escaped. Now she's back and she's looking to find out who was behind the kidnapping and who needs her stuck in an insane asylum. So
this sounds thrilling. Wow.
I think I lean gothic, and the gothic story has always is you know rides on three engines. A sense of isolation for the protagonist, like can't just pick up the phone and call the cops. Um, a sense of, can I believe what I'm really seeing? A sense of doubting your own interpretation because nobody else sees it that way. So are you maybe going crazy? Maybe you do belong
Right.
in an asylum. Um, so there's that sense of isolation and a sense of being unable to trust your own senses. And the third thing is trust. Who can you trust? And at the
Yeah.
beginning, she cannot trust anyone. She doesn't know who's out to get her. So those three elements are, to me, the core of the Gothic novel, and I really pulled hard on them for this book. So
Well, I
I
can't
like.
wait.
I hope you enjoy it. And there's a dust bunny in it for those who.
Oh, yes. There's a dust bunny in it.
Tip number two for any aspiring writers out there: if you're going to put an animal in the book, be prepared to keep putting the animals in the books because what's that old saying about never go on behind a kid and a or a dog in the
Yes.
theater. You don't want to be on behind a kid or a dog in the theater. Well, it's once you've indulged in dogs or animals
Mhm.
in books, people will they'll want them.
Well, it's like it's kinda neat too, because it's like the little Easter egg that people are gonna look for, and it's something that they desire to find, and I think
Yeah.
that's kind of a nice. I don't know, I kinda like that. I'm here for it.
Well,
I'm
well, they've
sorry
taken.
that if it's probably a challenge to put them in then, or doesn't it get to be
Well,
difficult?
after 19 books, finding a new dust bunny was because they each have to have their own little personalities, but then
Sure.
so do the characters. Yeah.
So we have this thing we've been doing. First of all, before I move on, I'm so sorry. People can find your book online and from their local bookstores, and that releases when? It's in a couple days, isn't it?
Yeah, this end of June.
End of June.
We-
Okay.
That's like
So
next week. First, I guess it's actually it's a week from tomorrow, a week from tomorrow. Week from tomorrow. Yeah.
yeah, so tomorrow's Tuesday the 23rd as we're recording this, so the 30th would be next Tuesday.
Okay.
And it's called Enter the Nightmare.
Enter
So
the
go check that out.
Nightmare. Yeah.
Mhm. And then we have been doing this cool thing on the podcast where we ask a question of our previous guest. I'm sorry, our previous guest, who was Mika McCook. We asked her a question to ask you, and then we ask you to ask a question of our next guest. And so
Okay.
last week we had Mika McCook on the show. She is a food photographer and also kind of a foodie culinary where she's amazing. Like her photography is like art, but also food. So Mika McCook is who we had last week, and you should check out that episode or at least go look at her website. It's MICAMCCOOK is her name. But her question for you was, um, what are you still trying to learn about romance? Or
I
is there
think
something you're still trying to learn? Go ahead.
I'm always trying to learn something new. Every book is a new adventure. Every book I learn something new. Um, and mostly it's just another version of how essential romance is to a full life. I think,
Great
yeah,
answer.
we just need
I
it.
love that. And then our next guest, which is going to be in a couple weeks because we're taking off for July 4th. So July 12th, it's a Sunday. That is going to be our next episode. We're having Meredith McGowan on. She's a costume designer.
Aha.
And we are wondering if you have a question for her. She also does wardrobe and costuming for theater primarily, and she also does some wig styling.
How do you choose the clothes for the character?
Oh, that's good.
I'd like to know how to do that myself. We
Yeah,
spent
that's
we
a good
spent a
one.
lot of time talking about costume design tonight. I mean, that's the reason. There's a reason I'm on it. I'm in the middle of a book. I need outfits for these guys. So how do you what's the process for analyzing a character and choosing the right shoes, the right hat, the right shirt?
That is so timely that we have a costumer after you.
Yeah, perfect. I'm gonna be
Oh,
listening.
perfect. Yeah. So, okay. So watch for that episode on July 12th. And then great. I can't wait to ask her that. That'll be great. And I don't know if she knows she has a question coming from you, so that'll be fabulous. I love doing that part of the show. That's one of my favorites. Um, well, I appreciate you joining us tonight for this show. I can't believe it's been an hour. This has been such a great conversation, and I
I loved it.
appreciate
I
it.
enjoyed it last time. I'm happy to be back. This was fun. Must do it
Thank you.
again.
We
Yeah.
should do it again. We will. We won't wait 2 years this time.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much for inviting me, though. I really did enjoy the chat.
Thank you. Thank you. I did too. Well, you can find, like I said, you can find Jayne's book online in a week and a day. And you can also check out all of her other books. She has a couple, a couple dozen, a couple. Yeah, at least that. Do you
What's
know
that?
the count?
No, I don't count.
Okay.
I stopped counting. I
Well,
can't stop writing. What can I tell you? I can't stop.
yeah, that's like saying stop breathing and stop creating. Like you should not stop unless you're
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for not stopping.
Thank you for having me.
Well, everybody have a wonderful night. You can find us online at themodrom.com on pretty much every social media and on our website, which is themodrom.com. And you can find us on Patreon as well. if you'd like to support us. And also on Channel 14 in central Minnesota. You can find us on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Thank you.